Hi everyone, Richard here at Calvin Wazoo with another video. And Vinyl Finds, it's a bit of a follow-up to Record Store Day because uh, when I went to Record Store Day, one of the stores that I visited was also promoting that they were having a 25% off everything in the store the following week, this past weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I went back and picked up a couple more RSD releases that were still there, as well as some other interesting finds. And then I got something in the mail that I had on order. Actually, two things that I had on order arrived in the mail. So, yeah, let's get going with this. Interesting. I just wanted to show this one though, because one of the records, that I ordered through the mail, how sometimes vendors will pack album covers, to provide, if the box that they're shipping in is, slightly bigger than, like one album or something like that. So they'll put empty old record sleeves, instead of using bubble wrap because, whatever. Anyway, one of the records that I received, the vendor did that, and this was the cover that he used. And I thought, wow, this is actually a very cool cover. Not necessarily, a record that I would ever want to own, but nonetheless, it's a very cool album cover. I just might consider, framing it, for hanging on the wall. Because, some of these names I actually know growing up in Michigan. There was a neighbor where I lived. They were from Flint and were of Polish descent. So they, knew about Frankie Yankovic and let's see who else, the Six Fat Dutchmen, So, I mean, these are famous names, and I was familiar with the polka music. Just like some of these names, though, like Whoopi John, Dick Rogers. It's just like the Six Fat Dutchmen. I just think that's funny, this album. Anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about some music. And one of the records that I ordered because it was unavailable on Record Store Day it was one that I really wanted, and that's this one here, a Soul Jazz Records release, New York Noise. So we're talking about dance music from the New York Underground 1977 to 1982. A lot of post-punk, dark wave. What are some of the other things they got here? Funk and no wave. So a lot of different bands like Liquid, the Contortions, Bush Tetras, Chain Gang. Many groups I had, never heard of. Although reading the material, and as always with Soul Jazz Records, they come with these great informative inserts that have information about the different bands. But I could see how some of the connections were with some of the performers in terms of playing, let's say, at the Mud Club or CBGB's. Their sort of tangential relations with other, perhaps more famous bands like Talking Heads or something like that. It is a really solid album, all right? It is one, though, that I probably had inappropriate expectations for because the first time I listened to it, it was like, huh. But then with subsequent listenings, it is really, again, I'm just really, really happy with it. It says it's on yellow vinyl, but to me, that's kind of puke green, chartreuse, color. But anyway, the needle track that I am going to play for you is a song by Bush Tetras, and it's called You Can't Be Funky. So it's got some, funky beats to it, and also the no wave, and also the punk and post-punk. A lot of variety there with the material. Very good. I'm glad that's now in my collection. Now there's this one more Soul Jazz Records release that was for Record Store Day. It's another ska-related one, I think, and I need to find that one. All right, so now the next few records are going to be ones that I went back to that store. So it was 25% off everything, including the leftovers from Record Store Day. And that turned out to be a pretty good deal, because one of the things I saw some other videos, and people were talking about this box set of singles. And I'm not a big singles guy. I mean, I've got some 7-inch singles, and I'm more inclined to collect 12-inch singles. I like those. But this one here, I heard so many good things about, all right? So this is Brazil 45, Mr. Bongo and Kenny Dope. Kenny Dope seems to be the primary DJ involved in compiling this collection. So we've got 5 singles, and it's really nice, quite nice packaging. Let me open it up here. I put the hype sticker on the inside, and then we've got the singles. Each one is different. The label a different color, but they all have this on the other side. So you can see, but also changing colors. And it's, again, a variety of samba, bossa nova, but also some other, let's see what it says on the hype sticker. But there's remixes, the golden era of Brazilian music, all right? So many of these are coming from a variety of different decades, and some of these are Kenny Dope remixes. But I'm really quite pleased with this. Of course, I keep forgetting, these are singles. So when I play one, I'm like grooving to the song, and then the song ends, and I'm kind of sitting there in my chair waiting for the next song to come up, and then I'm like, oh, shoot, I gotta flip the record or whatever. Not really quite used to that, but really good stuff. And in the needle drop I'm going to play for you is a song by Tony Tornado, and it's called Sonegro. Very good song, and a little bit of an example, but each song, there's so much variety in the style of music that's going on, that I can't say that particular needle drop is representative of the overall sound, because it does, it goes from, bossa nova to to more rockin' kind of songs. It's a really quite good collection. Now, the next one was also from this store. We're 25% off. And it's one that, I've wanted to get this record for quite a while because of one song on it, and that is this release by The Temptations. All right, so this is All Directions. And of course, I wanted to get this because of Papa Was a Rolling Stone, the big hit off this record. And it's an extended version on this record. I have a 12-inch single that is a cover by another group, so getting 25% off this, that wasn't, even though I needed this record, I didn't really want to pay the full RSD release price, but hey, with 25% off, it was a good one to get. And so the needle drop for you is actually going to be Run Charlie Run rather than Papa Was a Rolling Stone. Everybody knows that song, but I thought I would play Run Charlie Run. Good album, and with 25% off, it was a good one to pick up. It sounds really good. In fact, all these records that I am showing, and the previous ones that I just showed you, all sound really, really good, really excellent pressings. Another record store day release that in our most recent episode of the Gunkles, we all reviewed this record, and that is the album I Got What It Takes by Koko Taylor. I was just like, I knew, when I was there on Record Store Day, this was available, but I passed it up. And then when I went to listen to it online for doing the review for our Gunkles episode, I was like, I got to get this record. I have to. So when I went back to that store with the 25% off sale, he had one more copy left, and so I grabbed that. So yeah, you can hear my review on the Gunkles. All I will say is that this one, she's on Alligator Records, and it's very nice, transparent red release. It's got the Alligator label on there, and it's just a really fantastic pressing. And the needle drop that I'm going to play for you is, it also comes with this very nice insert regarding, the original album and the promotion material that went with the original release when this was released in 1975. But the needle drop I'm going to play for you is Honky Tonky. Shaking my head, honky tonk, all night long, honky tonk, same old song, honky tonk, my money's all gone, honky tonk, you done me wrong. I tossed and turned and I couldn't go to sleep, but the band kept playing that honky tonk beat. I love her voice. Just the way she's really digging down deep to get that voice. Such quintessential blues. All right, now, Yeah, speaking of blues, here's some more blues, but it's the Saharan blues. And this was a record that I picked up at that same store, 25% off, but it was not a record store day release. It is, though, an artist that is on my radar, and this particular record is one of his earlier ones, and this is Ali Farka Toure and the album Red, which was originally released in 1984. So it's got this nice kind of an Obi kind of strip to it. And it was reissued by World Circuit Limited in 2020. Fantastic pressing. Again, it's on black vinyl. And so, as I've mentioned in other videos, Ali Farka Toure is he's from Mali and plays mostly the traditional Tuareg style blues, of the Saharan blues. He is very well known and also considered like the godfather of Saharan blues. Just amazing, amazing. It's a familiar, when you listen to it, it's familiar. The style is quite familiar because there are some American blues artists that play in a similar style. One of them being John Lee Hooker in particular. But yeah, I hope to eventually get most, if not all, of the albums that were released in the because of the popularity in Saharan blues right now. These records are being reissued, and Red is certainly one of the ones you should pick up. It is a great, great record. The needle drop I'm going to play is Ale Aoudi. So you hear that playing and the really crisp finger hammering and playing, and it's you know, I may not understand what they are singing, although the inner sleeve does have the lyrics in both French and English, and so I can read the lyrics in English, and I can get a sense of what the song is about. But it's because of the translations, you're not going to be able to, I think for many people, when they are listening to a song and reading the English translation, they're trying to match these individual English words with the individual words they hear, in the other language. It just doesn't work that way. And, because sentence structure, etc., and grammar is, different in different languages. But at least it has the idea of what is being conveyed in the song there. So I can listen to, even though it's in a language, it's not French. All right, he's not, even though they provide it in French, he's not singing in French. He's speaking or singing in the Tuareg language, the people of the desert. But at least I know what the song is generally about, and then I can enjoy listening to that. So Ali Farka Toure, one definitely you should pick up. And of course, me finding out about Ali Farka Toure and many other Saharan blues and other African blues and musicians and groups was largely because of me learning about Mdou Moctar. And so I've added another record to my Mdou Moctar collection, and that's this one here. All right, Mdou Moctar in a budget dance hall. And then it says elite beat here. So what this is, it's a primitive recording, all right? It almost sounds kind of like a bootleg in some respects, but it's not a bootleg. It's a 2018 release. Elite Beat is a collective, musical collective from Portland, Oregon. And what this recording is Mdou Moctar jamming with the members of Elite Beat. And it's like, these are one takes, all right? And I'm sure the jamming went on for many, many other songs, but what this has is 3 songs. One, there's one called, In a Budget Dance Hall, that's the entire side, one side of the album. And then there are 2 other songs on the other side. And so you've got the members of Elite Beat playing the rhythm, section for Mdou, but, they also have saxophone and flute, and they get an organ, that is being added to everything. It's all a live recording, all right? This is no studio mix. Everything is live, and then to me, it frees up. Mdou Moctar. His playing is a little more. It's just free. He can do whatever he wants, and then you can hear him playing the theme of the song, the musical theme, over and repeating it so that the rest of the band, gets how the song is structured, and then he goes off and plays, whatever is coming to his mind, to his fingers. It's just a really relaxed flow and interplay between all of the musicians, and it's the same kind of music that Mdou normally plays. It's just a different feel to it, and it's something that I really, really like. The needle drop that I'm going to play for you is one of the songs that, as I said, there's one song that's an entire side, and then on another side there are 2 songs, and I'm going to play one of those 2 songs from that side, and it's called Anar. Really incredible. You can hear just, the fantastic playing of Mdou, but you can also hear just how the other musicians are really complimenting what he is doing. There are parts of the songs too where you hear, as I say, Mdou Moctar is repeating the theme so that the other band gets it, and how they kind of, the big song that's like all one side, I really do think that they just continue jamming even longer, because the song fades out because, hey, they ran out of wax to put the music on one side. There are probably several other songs that just didn't make it for whatever reason, because it's very impromptu and playful, but it's really good in spite of the primitive nature of the recording. So I would recommend it for sure to anyone who is a fan of Mdou. It just shows a different side of his guitar playing. I've seen him 3 times live, and his band is incredibly tight, and everything is really well rehearsed. And he has very clear musical signals, etc., that he can give to the rest of the band about, what he's going to do. Is he going to play more? Is he going to jam a little bit or whatever? Those signals to each other, they've got down pat. And what I've noticed in the 3 different times, that while there are some subtle differences between the guitar solos, for the same songs from concert to concert, they're all pretty much structured the same way for the live show. So to me, it was so much cooler and more interesting to listen to an unfettered Mdou Moctar. Not that he's being fettered, you know what I mean, or that he's being restrained, by his band, because he's not. He's got a super, super great band that backs him up. But it's just a different Mdou Moctar to me. And it sounds really, really cool. So, yeah, this is going to be more expensive than your average album. But if you are an Mdou Moctar fan, I would certainly recommend picking it up. So yeah, those are my recent finds for this episode. Hope you enjoyed that. Hey, leave a comment in the Down Under. And remember that I am on Instagram as NewsDude76. That's NEWZDUDE76. I have a Facebook page called Calvin Wazoo. If I remember, I'll put a link to that in the Down Under. Like, subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, hit the like button, because I'll start showing up in your feed. But that also helps distribute my content a little more to more eyeballs. I'm not making money on this, okay, because of these needle drops, which I love to include in my videos, but because of them, I'm not getting any money, out of this, because the copyright holders take all the advertising revenue that may be attached to my videos. But it does help, with wider distribution when you hit that like button. And what will be coming up next, I don't know, because I'm probably not having too many, new vinyl find video in the near future, because I've just been spending way too much money. I got to take a step back and let things cool down a bit. But I may be considering some other videos about some of the other records that I have that I don't, necessarily talk about all that much. So keep your eye out for that. As I say, I hope you enjoyed all of this, and remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.